Just ahead on Catholic Chicago, marking the 75th anniversary of the canonization of Mother Cabrini here in Chicago. A state program is making scholarships available for thousands of students, helping them attend Catholic schools. And glorious music echoes from the St. James Chapel. All ahead on Catholic Chicago.
The Archdiocese of Chicago is a vibrant and diverse faith community. We celebrate our faith through worship, evangelization, and reaching out to the needy. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for Catholic Chicago. I'm Todd Williamson, Director of the Office for Divine Worship for the Archdiocese of Chicago. Back in 1880, in Italy, Mother Frances Cabrini founded the Missionary Sisters of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. She was a relentless champion of the poor, and her faith journey would take her across the globe, establishing some 67 institutions, schools, hospitals, and orphanages. In 1946, she was canonized a saint in recognition of her holiness and her service to God. Mother Cabrini spent much of her life here in the United States and in Chicago. She was living here when she passed in 1917. The National Shrine of St. Francis Xavier Cabrini is located in Lincoln Park. Here's a look at Mother Cabrini's life and a recent Mass at the shrine that honored the beginning of the Jubilee year, marking the 75th anniversary of her canonization.
Mother Cabrini was a teacher, so she had to kind of, but she went through a series of conversion experiences to understand the needs and what God of the time and how God wanted her to be a missionary. Well, she was well known because she traveled so much. She went back and forth. She went from New York, for example, when she arrived in 1889, to Nicaragua within a year, and then she went back and forth across the ocean.
Some of you may know this, but at the age of 7, Francesca Cabrini fell into a fast-moving stream, and she almost drowned. And that traumatic experience as a child left Francesca frightened of water, fearful of drowning. And yet, despite this fear, her life would have her traversing the world's waters, traveling across oceans over and over again, some 20 to 30 times, wasn't it? And I was imagining this because I was reading about one of these trips where the waters were especially rough. You know, the ocean was not calm at that moment, and the sisters traveling with Mother Cabrini were all huddled in their beds with seasickness, and yet she had the habit of sitting on deck, journaling. And I love this image of Mother Cabrini, covered up in blankets in a deck chair with her journal, knowing that Jesus was in the deck chair next to her. She had no reason to be afraid. She got over her fears, and she got on the boat.
I think her mission was a response to the call of the times. She had a very different vision that she grew up with and that she desired. And so what she did in works of education, healthcare, and social service was to lift up the consciousness of the society toward the new immigrants. She had a holistic view of the humanity of her brothers and sisters. And she was able to mobilize forces that were not only always Catholic to help her. Not only, the bishops weren't giving her any money. There's something in the museum that you might notice if you visit the shrine, where there's an IOU of $2,000 to the Bishop of Chicago that she never paid. She borrowed $2,000 or something to do something. But again, there was a success to the first foundation that opened it to the service, the needed service for the people who were underserved, who were the people on the Southwest side. You know, if you look at the museum here in Chicago, you find that there are people who are business people, people who are bishops, people who knew her and who helped her do her work in this country.
St. Frances Xavier Cabrini teaches us by her example. She said, "I have started houses with no more than the price of a loaf of bread and prayers. For with him who comforts me, I can do anything."
You can visit the shrine of St. Frances Xavier Cabrini in Lincoln Park. To learn more, log on to cabrininationalshrine.org. Born in 1854, the Venerable Augustus Tolton is recognized as the first African American to be ordained a priest. He was born into an enslaved family in Missouri. They escaped to Illinois, where he dedicated himself to his Catholic faith. Tolton attended seminary in Rome, but eventually was assigned to Quincy, Illinois, and then Chicago, establishing what would become St. Monica's Parish, the first African American Catholic parish in the city. In 2019, Pope Francis advanced the cause for sainthood for Father Tolton. Recently, at Holy Family Catholic Church, a Mass was held to mark the 110th anniversary of the death of Father Tolton's mother, Martha.
This is a memorial Mass honoring the death and the entrance into heaven of the mother of our first priest, Father Augustus Tolton.
Today we gather to commemorate the 110th anniversary, memorial anniversary of Mother Martha Jane Tolton, the loving and dedicated mother of the Venerable Augustus Tolton, the first recognized African American priest of the United States.
The reason we honor Martha Tolton because in our Catholic faith, it is the parents who are the first catechists. And so Martha was the first person who helped to form Augustus Tolton, to help to form him in his faith, who supported him in his faith, who even when he left and came to Chicago, she traveled with him to Chicago and lived with him. So she was that primary constant person who was with him to support him during his pastoral journey. She was a person of valor and strength. If you think about the fact of her, even her perseverance, that she traveled over almost 40 miles from the plantation in Missouri, in Brush Creek, Missouri, to Hannibal, Missouri, at night. The perseverance that took, the strength and the valor that took to do that. Then we honor her because of her great faith, that she had a great faith in her son, and she had a spirituality of hope. She had hope when there was no hope around. When you think of the fact that she had the hope to leave where she was in Dakota freedom. Woman of holiness, that we know that Tolton was formed in his faith not only by the Franciscan friars and by others, but he was formed by Mother Tolton. And so for those reasons, I think that we lift her up, that we remember her this day, because it's those sheroes, many of them who we do not know their names, that she reminds us of those mothers of the church that have helped to support our Catholic faith as we've journeyed ahead.
The St. James Chapel at the Archdiocese's Quigley Center is a beautiful space that often hosts concerts. We thought we would share some of these musical performances with you today. Here now is saxophonist Rich Daniels and cellist Jill Kading.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
Welcome back to Catholic Chicago. I'm Todd Williamson. Catholic schools offer an impressive faith-based education to thousands of students in our area. In the challenging times of the pandemic, our students' test scores have actually risen, an achievement earning national attention. Students have been mostly in school, and that's helped them flourish academically, socially, and emotionally. Many families believe tuition at a Catholic school is out of reach, but there are a number of scholarships and tuition assistance programs available. Many are funded by the Illinois Tax Credit Scholarship Program. It allows taxpayers to donate to the Catholic school of their choice. That donation reduces the donor's state tax obligation and can potentially increase their state refund. The funds are earmarked to help students from lower-income families pay for tuition. Since 2017, it's made a difference in the education of over 10,000 students. Here now are the voices of several families who have benefited from the scholarships.
My husband and I came here 23 years ago in a search for a better life. I have 3 children, and our first and number one priority has been their education. I am only a DACA recipient, and my husband is here undocumented. At one time, my husband was working 15 hours a day, and all my income was used for their tuition. So this type of scholarships provide security for our family. They feel secure here at their school. We didn't have the opportunity to have an education, and that is what we hope to provide them.
The best part about a Catholic school is having the kids learn values, the values that you get out of the Christian faith, out of being Catholic. You can't get that from a public school. I have 4 kids that attend St. Anne's. They're teaching them to lead, to learn, and love one another. Tax credit scholarships make the biggest difference in the world for low-income families. I haven't had to work 2 jobs, which was something I was used to. All these values that they get is from a Catholic school. these tax credit scholarships are a blessing for our family.
We're joined now by Father Jerry Boland, pastor of Our Lady of Perpetual Help Parish in Glenview. He works to help make these scholarships available to qualifying students. Father Jerry, it is so good to see you.
Great
Welcome.
to see you, Todd. It's
My
been a
gosh,
while.
We haven't been together for
It's
a
been
while.
a long time.
We go back decades to viewers. So it's great to have you here.
It's great to see you, Todd.
And it's great to be able to talk about this opportunity, this offering, this what the Archdiocese is making available to students. Kind of putting you on the spot, but what difference have you seen? What difference is obvious to you in terms of what these tax credits make available?
Well, one of the great challenges of our Catholic school system is enrollment, and there is the obstacle for many families of trying to figure out how can I possibly afford sending my child to a Catholic school. And there can be many circumstances that put people in that situation. The Tax Credits Scholarship Program is a remarkable possibility to provide a quality Catholic education for all children. And over the years, several thousand children have been able to come to a Catholic school that would not have been able to come in the front door. And you know, in this world where we're always talking about choice, Catholic Tax Credits Scholarship Program allows a taxpayer to designate their taxes to something they really feel strongly about. And because of the few opportunities we get tax support for Catholic schools, this provides a direct line into enrollment for families in need. And so it's been very exciting to see the possibility of a Catholic education for a family that would never have considered it in the past.
Yeah. So I'm a parishioner at Holy Family, and I can have that tax credit go to the students of Holy Family if there's a school at the parish, or choose
or just
the
choose
school I went to as a young person.
Any school. In Glenview, we have a neighboring school that's been really struggling with enrollment. My parish might not have as many students qualify, so I've been encouraging my parishioners to designate St. Catherine of Labouré Parish, and that's resulted in 30 or 40 scholarships for that school. That's a lot of kids that are being able to go to a wonderful school. St. Catherine's is a fantastic school. We also have a couple of children at OLPH that have benefited from it. And with the mechanics of it, you know, there's a lot of help if you're interested in figuring out how can I participate in this program. But the power you have to say, I want my tax dollars to give a kid a chance in a Catholic school is very gratifying for many people.
So anybody considering this should not be scared off by the process.
No. And there's a tremendous staff here at the Archdiocese that will walk you through it step by step. They'll help you get on board, and you'll feel terrific when you see your money providing an education for a child. It's terrific.
You mentioned something just a moment ago that really, I mean, so the tax credit is helping individual students, but look at what you've done at Our Lady of Perpetual Help. The working together with a neighboring parish.
Right.
This parish helping that parish.
And we're all committed to the mission of Catholic education, whether you're in St. Catherine's, St. Sabina's, wherever you're at. And this gives us an opportunity to ensure the stability of our Catholic schools, but more importantly, to invite a child into the culture of a Catholic school, which is just awesome.
Yeah, it's much more far-reaching than just helping individual students.
Yes, it does. And you know, in this world where people are paying very high taxes, a parent that's sending their child to a Catholic school doesn't benefit from the taxes that go to public education. This is an opportunity to direct some of your tax dollars to a very needed source of Catholic schools.
To have some control over
yes,
them,
right.
I understand there's a considerable waiting list.
Yes. So there's plenty of students out there that are yearning for the possibility of a scholarship. And I want to also just publicly thank Cardinal Supage because the Tax Credit Scholarship Program would have never happened without his advocacy. He has really been its biggest cheerleader and has navigated the political realities of the state of Illinois so that thousands of children, as of this day, have been able to benefit from the tax credit scholarship
We heard
program.
from those two parents
Yes.
in the spots right before.
Yeah.
It's unmistakable that this that this can make a huge difference in the lives of not just the students, but their families.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Father Jerry, do you know of any other archdiocese, any other diocese that is making use of this kind of?
Well, every diocese in the state of Illinois can benefit from the tax credit scholarship program. Now, we're blessed because we have the resources of a great staff here that can help people get into the scholarship program. Some of the dioceses that don't have those kind of resources haven't been as successful. However, every diocese in the state of Illinois has benefited, and not just Catholic schools. This is for private schools of all shapes and forms. But the tax scholarship program has been a great resource for every diocese in the state of Illinois.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, Father Jerry, this is a tremendous opportunity that the Archdiocese is offering. And you, as one of our great pastors, certainly doing your share with it. Thank you. Thanks for sharing this information with our viewers. And thanks just for coming in.
Yeah, it's so great to see you, Todd. Take care.
Right, take good care.
Thank you.
To learn more about contributing to the program, go to archchicago.org and click on Donate to Tax Credit Scholarships. Before we take another break, let's return to the St. James Chapel for more music from cellist Jill Cady.
I am a seminarian.
The Church needs compassionate and well-trained priests to help guide each of us through life.
What inspires me, what draws me always to the priesthood is continue to see priests be a beacon of hope for other people.
You can play a part in the education of these young men as they prepare for a life of service to others.
I want to be that beacon of hope too, and it sets my heart on fire.
To support our seminarians, make your gift at archchicago.org/seminarian fund or call 312-534-7959.
This year marks the 150th anniversary of the Great Chicago Fire. A recent edition of the Chicago Catholic newspaper explored the impact of the fire on the city's immigrant Catholic community. It also examines how Jesuit Father Arnold Damon from Holy Family Church helped to mobilize critical aid after the fire. Joyce DeRiga, editor of the paper, spoke to historian Ellen Scarrett for the report. Scarrett also joined Joyce on a recent edition of our YouTube stream, Catholic Chicago.
So let's talk about Father Damon. Can you give us a little bit about who he was and how he came to Chicago and how he established Holy Family?
Well, Father Damon's story is one of great interest to me. What I discovered in doing the research for the history of St. Ignatius College Prep, that he was born in a small town in Lower Holland in 1815. And he grew up in what would have been a barn church, a clandestine church that looked like a barn because at the time, Dutch Catholics were not allowed to worship in houses of worship that looked like churches. So when I think of Father Damon and all that he accomplished in Chicago, it's always with the backdrop that he grew up in a very, very humble circumstance. When I think of Holy Family, this great cathedral on the prairie, I see him as a patron of the arts as well. Arnold Damon was in Brooklyn, New York, preaching a mission at St. Patrick's. And he got word from Chicago, from a telegram from his good friend, William Onahan, who was the city collector at the time, telling him that Chicago was aflame. And he deputized William Onahan to open the church, the college, and Holy Family Boys School, and to begin helping the needy and the homeless sufferers. The footprint of the Jesuit institutions in Chicago was enormous. It was larger than any other church in the city. It would have made sense from any kind of economic point of view to have that be the center of relief services, but it didn't happen. One of the things I found pasted in a scrapbook in the archives at St. Ignatius College Prep was this marvelous illustration of the Jesuits reaching out. You can see the burning city behind it, and they're ministering to people without distinction of race or creed. And this was the New York Irish World, and it's evidence, national evidence of the Jesuit outreach. Well, Father Damon came to back to Chicago on the train for 2 days. He saw, the devastation in the city, but already by then, the church was housing orphans, the school was housing orphans.
It's amazing.
Relief was pouring in. The bell of the convent on Taylor Street rang every hour, with people looking for help. And so here you have a story of immigrants helping other immigrants. And the people who had the least were the giving the most. This has been part of the Catholic tradition.
Our thanks again to Joyce and Ellen. Remember, you can connect with New Catholic content each day by visiting our video streams. Log on to our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago. We also want to remind you that you can view our weekly Sunday Masses from Holy Name Cathedral. They are available online on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, Catholic Chicago. Our Masses are also broadcast each Sunday. ABC 7 is the home of our English Mass at 9:30 a.m. Spanish Masses are broadcast on Unimas, Channel 60 at 5:30 a.m., and Pole Vision broadcasts our Masses each Sunday at 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. We leave you now with more musical sounds from St. James Chapel. I'm Todd Williamson, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Catholic Chicago.